This meeting today is all about innovation, and I was thinking about innovation and commitment to lifelong learning because, innovation is all about being ahead of the curve and knowing what's going on. So, Deidre, as you think about your career and your commitment to lifelong learning, and surely working for an organization that's very, very innovative, how has that commitment of lifelong learning served you well?
Right. So I guess when I got here first, I moved from Ireland to New York for 1 year, and I got here and I found myself at Barclays Bank, and I really knew absolutely very, very little about investment banking. I was just lucky enough to get the job. Actually, the guy who interviewed me, he had just married an Irish girl. He just came back from a wedding in Ireland, so I totally lucked out with actually that timing of that interview. So I kind of got in, and now I was in, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I gotta really dig deep here and learn a lot. So I did just that. I mean, it was such a terrific training ground. I studied everything. I studied the people, I studied the markets, I studied my clients. And really, I had just finished college at the time, and finishing college and finishing the study of CGMA was really just the start of it because I had so much more to learn after that. So because CGMA was such a learning environment, I just kind of bridged it right to my practical experience. And as I started, it was just so interesting, even the difference between when I started and the 3 months later, knowing the details, you become an expert. Boy, I was an expert 3 months later because it's all relative to what you start with. So, I started to get up to speed on the various different topics that I need to be up to speed at that point. And becoming the expert really gave me confidence, and the confidence that I had in myself really allowed others to have confidence in me. And I've just taken that right throughout my career. And, my expectation is to have a very steep learning curve. And as that curve flattens, that's generally the time where I raise my hand and say, hey, listen, I need something new. I want to turn to the next chapter. I want to move from, let's say, derivatives to, asset management or whatever the case may be. So I've always kept myself very challenged from a learning perspective. For example, launching new funds right now. Obviously I'm now, somewhat of an expert on the controller side of the business. But I don't stop there, I make sure that I know the detail, and if we're launching some sort of a complex fund, I'll go in there and I'll read the term sheet, make sure I understand the details. I'll also go and look at the new fund launch document, and I'll also read the legal section and the compliance section and the operations section, because I see different things when I read those sections. So, with regard to innovation and learning, I think continuously learning and getting up to speed with the current topics, I think helps position you for that innovation. I also think it's from a people perspective, right? I feel personally responsible for unleashing potential within people. So I make sure that they've got the resources that they need. I make sure that they've got the qualifications that they need. I highly recommend the whole CGMA qualification because I really think that is a great platform for innovation. So making sure that my people have the right resources, making sure they're trained, making sure that they're moving ahead with the current trends, I think is one of the key areas that I look to from an innovation perspective. And then also, encouraging my team to challenge the current, the status quo, and not just because we've always done it. And it's how do we do it better? And asking those questions on how we can do it better. I think even, challenging our own products and what we do and trying to keep ahead of that. And that's where you need someone to step back from a strategic perspective and constantly question, are we doing it right? Are we moving in the right direction? And having people on your team with that kind of inquisitive nature, I think can really help innovation.